first thing, start off with Donna.
Well, Donna was just a typical teenage girl. She was raised pretty much in the urban country area. She liked to fish, hunt, ride horses, and just hang out with friends, go swimming, go to the lake. She was just an average, typical girl. Around age 18, I believe, she met her ex-boyfriend, which was the last guy that we know of that she dated before she went missing. And over the last year of her life, her personality and her deeds and her actions kind of changed for the worse. He wasn't that great of an influence on her. He had some drug use in his history, and I think she kind of started experimenting a little bit with drugs. I don't think she ever had up until that point, but she had to experiment a few times with drugs. I know that it had caused some life problems for her. She ended up getting taken to court for custody of her 4-year-old son, which the father won temporary custody. So at the time that she went missing, she didn't have custody of her 4-year-old son. We were actually up until the point to where she lost custody. Me and my wife Linda were actually pretty much doing the day-to-day care for her son, and she popped in and out, as she wished. Like I said, she was the typical teenage girl. She was partying and not thinking about responsibilities or what she wanted to do with her life. She was just trying to find herself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was nothing real abnormal going on in her life. She had become somewhat untrustworthy with some of the things she would tell family members, because the people she was hanging out with, she was trying to hide that, from those that she cared about, like me and my mom, her grandmother and grandparents. We'd been on her about the influences that these people were putting on her life. And so she continued to go around them, and she would tell us she was going to be with one person, and she ended up being with people that she was asked not to be around, so. But everything was pretty much normal up until the night she left our house.
Big question there, and there's a lot of unknowns, and I think one of the unknowns is if she went to the roadhouse or not.
Yeah.
If she was there.
I feel like that is a no. I don't think she went there.
She did. Donna was one of those people that would look myself in the eye, him, and say, hey, I'm going to go to so and she didn't have to lie, have no reason to. But if she was going to the convenience store even, she would say she was going to do something else. So I don't believe she made it to the roadhouse. I just don't, because that's what was normal for her, to tell us she was going there and go somewhere else.
Okay.
So really, that's what my heart tells me.
Well, I pulled the film from the roadhouse. I still have.
I remember you said something that, yeah.
I still have all that film, and we've reviewed it, and she was never seen on film entering or exiting the Texas Roadhouse. So we found out later. We did do some online research. We researched information from her Google account, her Facebook, her Messenger, and we were able to reverse IP addresses where she logged into her Google account, and we tracked her to a trailer park in Spring. And so we know that she was at the trailer park in Spring the last time she was ever heard from.
Really? All right.
Or at least the phone was there.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
You know what I
of
mean?
course, yeah.
Right.
So most likely she was there as well.
All right. Now, I remember, let me ask you about the phone. Then I remember you said didn't you say you found a phone in your car in the back seat?
No, I found her actual,
Yeah.
what she called a wallet. It was like a little.
Oh, it was a wallet.
was a
That was
wallet.
it.
Right.
Like
Okay.
She originally we thought she took her little wallet with her, which had her ID and her, I guess her.
Donna's
doctor's
one of them that would have
information
put her
and stuff.
ID in her pocket, and she wouldn't have carried a purse or nothing like that.
Okay.
We thought she took it with her because it was gone. And
Yeah.
then a week later, which she had been running around with us the week prior to her missing. that's how the police were saying that she was on a drug binge possibly, or a runaway. And I told them, I said, look, she's been at my house every day for a week leading up to her going missing. She was there. I know she wasn't on drugs when she left, you know, but she had been riding around. She went to a couple jobs that I had to go check on and deal with. She rode with my wife and I think my other daughter and Donna, we all went over there. And so she had been in the back of my car leading up to before she left. And so we found the wallet back there later, after, you know, a few weeks after she was gone, which I never get in the back of my car, I always drive. So.
Yeah, and so those little pieces of, you're trying to put all this together and go, well, she took her wallet, and then you go, oh no, she didn't take her wallet.
because-
Right, and,
Yeah, it's
and
not
then
there.
whenever,
And
initially you put out a statement saying, hey, she took her wallet, she had this,
Yeah,
this.
right.
And then later you say, no, she didn't take her wallet, and people say, oh, he's a liar, he's a liar.
That's, yeah,
You don't know what
exactly.
he's- well, you know what, you're putting that information out as it unfolds and as you realize what's true and what's not.
But the way
You know,
Yes.
and people say, oh, well, he done lied about this, he's untrustworthy.
But the way
They
the
just
steps
get carried
went down
away.
was when Donna was staying with her
Yeah.
boyfriend. Now, mind you, this is before she's with us. She was staying there with him, and she called and said, hey, can I come stay with y'all? Can you please come get me? Now, this was like a week or so before, so of course he's gonna go get her, and when we get her, she don't have a bunch of belongings or nothing, and maybe that's when the wallet got in the back of the car.
Yeah.
And then she just, that's where it was at. She didn't
Yeah.
keep up with nothing.
Okay.
But I mean, I know myself that's how it got in the car.
Well, you've done a lot of research.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and have you taken those stuff to the police?
They
and,
have everything that I have.
and did, what they have to say about it? Were they appreciative
well,
or?
Well, everything that I present to the police, they present 10 reasons why it's not valid. Pretty much, you know. Every time I try to show them something that's a reasonable, you know, possibility, they give me 10 reasons why it's not.
In
So
the
it's like they're
beginning-
working harder to give me excuses why they shouldn't do anything
Right.
about it than to just go out and check out the information.
Right.
I gotcha. So you might even have, have you gotten any tips?
Tips
Yeah.
as far as from the public?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
So what you have is after you've done all this research, you start finding things that there's a possibility this may be going on. So you go to the police and say, look, can you check this out? And they won't.
He
They
did
don't
that
do
so
that.
many times, but
Okay.
they never treated nothing important, or it wasn't big enough. They would say they need some, what'd they call it, hardened
Yeah,
evidence or
they
something.
need physical. In other words, if I didn't bring her body bloody
Yeah,
or a bloody
right.
weapon or something, it wasn't important.
The arguments that
That's pretty
she
much
did
how they
have with
treated
some
things.
people over online, this is what I don't understand the most, okay? You know, teenagers fight, but the biggest way teenagers communicate is with social media. That's just how it is nowadays. A lot of parents even communicate through social media with their kids. That's how Donna was. But the police wanted to say, because she was in a dispute with people on social media, they couldn't take that as a threat.
We had a very
her.
viable,
And I felt like that's
a very
the way
viable
they
threat that was
communicate. It
made to
should be.
Donna.
It should be
Just
useful.
the same day she disappeared, I believe it was. It was the night before she disappeared. This guy called her and called her and called her and called her, and she never answered the calls. And then he left voicemails. He left threatening messages telling her she better watch her back, that he's going to have somebody smash her, and all these other things, telling her that you don't know who I am. I mess around down there in your area. I've got a lot of friends, and I've got a far reach, and I can get to you, and you know, and all these threats and stuff, and the police just blow it off like it's nothing.
Because it was done over social media, they said
we
that
also
it
had
wasn't useful.
we also had another instance where they took a photo of a bloody bathtub and posted it on social media and said, in the post, it was a meme post, and it said, post this with your last text message. So you basically take the picture, pull the last text message out of your phone, and post it with the photo. And so it was a picture of a murder scene in a bathtub.
It was a bloody bathtub.
It was a bloody bathtub with ice in the bottom of the tub and blood. And the last text message said, yeah, I took the body down south. She said she was from the Splendora area. I guess they think it's a joke. Oh well. That was the last.
Yeah.
We took that to the police, and he said, oh, this is just some jokester joking around. that scene, that photo come from a murder up north. It has nothing to do with your daughter. I
Kids
said,
do
I
mean
understand
things
that.
is what he told
I
us.
understand it has, the picture has nothing to do with my daughter. But what
the
about the
phrase
message that he
attached
put with it?
Yes.
And it was a black guy from the Livingston area that posted that, Gerard Hillard. And I asked him, I said, aren't y'all even gonna bring this guy in and question him why he posted that?
Yeah, so
She was the only girl missing from Splendora.
They
at
could
that
say
time.
it was a joke, but then not see if it
And
was.
they never even questioned this guy. Never even questioned him.
I don't understand.
I don't understand.
The biggest
either.
problem to me is the fact that Donna did have some people she was fighting with, you know, and it wasn't just little cuss words to each other. They were saying some serious things, but the cops say that's not enough to use. You can't just get in a
but
person's...
when you got a person that's missing and somebody is fighting with them, that's going to be a natural suspect.
Right.
Automatically.
But they
that should be a
say
reason
she's
to
a
want to
runaway.
at least question
That's
that
why they
person.
can't get into
I'm
her
not saying
stuff.
go arrest them. You know, they're not necessarily guilty until they're proven guilty. But at least investigate them.
Mm-hmm.
At least clear them before you assume that they're not involved.
Anyways, the reason for not doing anything as
Was
far as her
because
missing is
They didn't have
because
evidence, but they never looked for evidence.
her being an adult,
You know.
they can call her a runaway. And everything's done and quiet at that, you know.
They're calling her a runway?
Yeah. They can't, I mean, they know she's missing because that's how the family reported it, you
Huh.
know. But we don't have proof that she's
We had
missing.
words. We had words over a text message the night she left. It was the following day, the evening of the following day.
Oh, you think that might be why
Because,
they're leaving
well,
her
we had a
runaway?
few words, which it's
no.
you know it's happened before,
Okay.
and we've always made up, and you know things were fine.
Yeah.
But she realized it's just me trying to be tough on her because I'm her dad and I love her, and so that's basically all it was. It was just a few words that we had between each other, and the police said, "Oh, well, y'all had a big blowed out fight.
And there
that's
wasn't
why
even
she's
a
left.
fight."
She's probably run off," and you know it was all the natural bull crap that comes with their excuses. So they never really looked at anything. Basically just threw her chances of being found away because they assumed.
The public were the ones that said, oh, if there was a fight, there's proof of her dad and her fighting, which there wasn't, and that he put her stuff out by the road. Donna didn't own anything to put out by the road. The public
couple
actually
baskets
made
of
that
clothes,
stuff
but-
up, you know.
Well, I heard this, you know, we're talking to different people today, and I've heard this before. I mean, one said they had a group of 200 people that their whole mission was to attack the family and persecute the family. And it's like, it's hard to believe that there'd be people out there that have no sympathy for the fact that you're missing your loved one. Instead, they decide that they figure out that you're guilty in some way,
It's 'cause they
and they
believe
start
something
running
different
after
in
you
their heart.
and bullying you.
Yeah.
So, is this happening to you?
I don't know about a group of 200 people, but
No,
there was,
yeah,
but there
because
was
they-
tens of people. You know,
Yeah.
at least 10
I
to
think
30
most of them
people
were
that we had
teenagers.
trouble with that I've blocked from Facebook and blocked from different other media sites. That it seemed their intentions were to nothing but badmouth us or talk bad
Right.
about Donna, or I mean, people even went as far as to say they saw Donna riding around in my car after we
That's
reported her
insane.
missing. I'm serious, just all kinds of ludicrous things. You know, I set up a GoFundMe to try to raise a little bit of money because at the time I was not in great financial shape. I lost my job just prior
Yeah.
to her going missing, and at that time I'd gotten another job, but it was just a get me by job, and we were basically just struggling to survive. And so I was doing really bad. My tires were bald on my car. I didn't really have good transportation to even go out and look for her. And so I set up a GoFundMe to try to get money, to try to put a little bit of money into my car and to use it for like printing up flyers and posters. And I mean, that stuff's expensive.
Yeah.
You know, you can't,
Especially when
you know,
you
it's
ain't getting
$100 to go print
Yeah.
50 colored poster. You know, it gets very expensive.
Yeah, the police don't do
And
it.
so I tried
They
to do
don't make up those
GoFundMe,
stars.
and people
Station don't either.
badmouthed me for that. They badmouthed me for, I mean,
And some of it could have been, Donna was good about making her enemies wherever she went, you know. She stepped on toes and then people kind of grudged her, you know, so It could have been some of that's where their opinions come from.
You know, on the GoFundMe, I had put that I had lost my job, which I had, but I had another job. So they didn't know about the other job. They just knew about the job I lost.
You said you lost.
So then they started
attacked
saying,
that.
"Oh, he lost his job months ago, and he's just trying to scam the public for money." And you know, they didn't know the whole story. They just knew bits and pieces of things.
Do you know any of these people that are, have you ever known them before?
No,
never
most
met.
of
They were
them
just all strangers,
Most of
but
them
they
were
know
young
all
teenage
about you.
girls.
I think they
They
know.
seem to.
Okay.
Most of them seem to know Donna. You know.
Oh, all right.
They, you know, they had read different things that we had put out and different things that were said on social media sites. And they took bits and pieces of it, you know, kind of like people do with the Word of God. They take what's good for them and what's not, and they put it all together and make their own opinions. And then they
Or just
throw
read the
a
last
formulation
part.
of a story out there that really has no basis of that.